Well, it's the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and get started. I want to welcome you to this last tutorial in your bundle about how to build a digital sales funnel to acquire doctor clients. So really what we've been doing is we've been focusing on some content that you can deliver digitally, the information in the 9 money mistakes that doctors make, and then figure out how to deliver this digitally in order to help you generate leads and build trust so that you convert more doctor prospects to clients. I'm Vicki Rachner. I leverage my experience as a practicing surgeon, clinical faculty at the University of Washington School of Medicine, and serial entrepreneur to help financial advisors and other professionals accelerate their business growth by acquiring more doctor clients. So in the last session, we talked about how to engage doctors on Facebook. And I had told you that today we are going to talk about how to create Facebook live stream posts. But if you've been in my community for any length of time, you know that I like to over deliver. So we're going to be having a more general conversation about how to leverage video to acquire doctor clients, even if you've never made a video in the past. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about video basics. So what do people mean by videos? What do they mean by webinars? What do they mean by podcasts? We're going to talk about 4 production fundamentals when creating videos. We're going to talk about tips to choosing topics that doctors love, because it's kind of sad when you make videos that doctors don't want to watch. I'm going to show you 3 proven script templates, 3 social media musts. If you're going to the effort of investing in videos, where should you post them so that you can really make them work for you? We're going to remind you of the 5 campaign killers that we talked about when we talked about Facebook. It turns out that these are the same campaign killers with pretty much any marketing campaign. We're going to talk about how you can make your first video today, and then some options for jumping in and doing it. There is sort of a theme that I haven't stated overtly here that I do want to bring up right now. And that is the importance of expert positioning. Doctors want to work with experts. And part of the beauty of having access to this book is that what do experts do? Well, experts distribute content. And not only are you distributing some expert content here, you are delivering expert content that's been created by a doctor. So if you want to conduct business with doctors, you want to conduct yourself as one. Doctors are educators. By distributing your yummy treats, your videos, or your books, you are basically positioning yourself as an expert, as an educator. So doctors know that experts get better results. So this investment in expert positioning really does pay off. You accelerate your growth when you're perceived as a physician's expert. And I hope that in this tutorial, you've seen that this process can be demystified. And this is something that you really can do. So you can use this book to be seen and be heard and be found and really position you as a rock star. Okay, well, what is the expert triad? What do doctors need to see in order to think of you as an expert? Well, they want to see you quoted in print. They want to see publications. So you can take little pearls of wisdom from the 9 Money Mistakes book and maybe make a blog post about them. Doctors want to see other other experts who speak. Well, guess what? You are welcome to take this content, the 9 Money Mistakes, and turn that into a presentation that you deliver. You can also be seen on videos, and really that's what we're going to talk about today. How to use videos as support for your expert positioning. Now, videos can help you in a number of ways. They can help you stay top of mind with doctor clients. So as we talk about drip content, I would really invite you to think about regularly distributing videos that you made. You build trust when doctors share your videos. If you put your videos on social media, whether it's Facebook or whether it's on YouTube or maybe even on your blog, it helps you be found by more doctors, especially if you feel comfortable getting in front of a video camera. So instead of looking at slides, the doctor is looking at your face. It can shorten the sales cycle. And how and why is that the case? Well, when doctors see your face, they sort of feel like they're getting to know you. So if a doctor's watched 10 of your videos, by the time they actually sit down with you, they usually have the sense that they already know you. It can also help you increase the return on investment from your current campaigns. Let's say, for example, that you're promoting a seminar. You can use videos to promote that. You can use videos to promote pretty much anything. So in using videos, you can accelerate your business growth. So you might have considered creating videos in the past and struck up against some of the real challenges. You know, I wouldn't know where to begin. This feels like such a huge project. You know, I'm not sure about my compliance department. Are they going to let me do videos? You know, what kind of equipment will I need? How do I choose topics? You know, and what about the expense? Well, if you've wondered about anything, including I'm not going to be good, you are in the right place, because we are going to break this down. And it's my hope that after listening to this tutorial, you're going to know that you have what it takes to create your first free video starting today. All right, so I will tell you that I have been using videos for the past, 10 or so years. And I will tell you that when I first got started, I had all of those same concerns myself, but I got some wise advice. And that is, one of my mentors said, Vicki, just go ahead and give yourself permission to suck. Just get started. Know that your first videos are probably going to be videos that one day you throw away, but the only way that you're going to get better is by starting. And in fact, that is the case. When I look at my first videos that I started creating, I sort of cringe. But you know what? Over time, you see the improvement. I certainly have myself, and I'm always picking up tips about how to get better. And you know what? It's paid off for me. So in the last 365 days, just on YouTube alone, 4.7 thousand financial advisors have watched my video, How to Sell to Physicians. You know, 4,000 have watched How to Build a Physician-Friendly Practice. You know, there have been, 35,000 minutes of watch time, and I think this is in the past 30 days. So this really does work. And in fact, when somebody new calls me and I ask them, well, where did you find out about me? More and more people are saying, well, I found you on YouTube. So it turns out that YouTube is the second biggest search engine. Number one is Google, of course, but more and more people are getting information on YouTube, on Facebook, and people love video. I mean, that's why there's so much video being uploaded to YouTube every single day. And why is it important for you specifically to pay attention? Well, it's because doctors consume videos and podcasts. And so if your best fit doctor is watching videos and listening to podcasts. Clearly, you want to package your pearls of wisdom in the format that doctors want to receive. So videos work to engage doctors. Further, it's absolutely a perfect intersection for your expert positioning and digital sales funnel. I mean, videos are a digital product. That means that it's the perfect kind of content to put into your sales funnel. Now, remember, you're going to need multiple contacts with doctors before they actually convert. You have access to the intellectual property in the 9 money mistakes that doctors make. Okay, so let's say that, the entrance point of your digital sales funnel is just getting a digital copy of the book. If you just did the highlights for each of the 9 mistakes, you are going to have all of those contacts that you need for conversion. So you've got a complete package here. And I will remind you that if you can get your existing doctors who already know, like, and trust you to distribute your yummy treats to their friends, that really cuts down the sales funnel. So, a doctor who's been referred by another doctor may only need 1 contact with you before they convert. So, digital sales funnels mean that you can engage doctors who are not with you in the same room and who are not on your calendar. They can be asynchronous in space and time. So videos allow you to sort of be a higher touch than just distributing a book, because the more senses your contact engages, the more connected a doctor is going to feel with you. So we've seen how technology has helped banking and has helped the people who want to spend money. You used to actually have to go to a bank to get cash, and then ATMs came around, and now there's online bill pay. So, you too can leverage all this technology to make your life easier, to make a bigger impact, and to engage more doctors. So when I studied the most successful financial advisors in the medical market, they live in the sweet spot of the Success Triad. So they've got expert positioning through their books, through their webinars, through their podcasts. They're using digital sales funnels, and in general, they have a positioning opening the red velvet curtain. So in a sense, this package is helping you get into the sweet spot of the Success Triad. And, as you move forward, one of the things that I would really encourage you to do is see how you can find local physician evangelists in your community. How can you use the doctors who already know you to help distribute this book, to get the word out? How can you build relationships with the key physician opinion leaders locally to really make this happen? That's going to help you. Okay, so you can gain the competitive advantage with video today. And while this is going to sort of be a do-it-yourself kind of tutorial, just like all the other ones have been, at the very end, I am going to offer a special bonus for people who might want a little more help. Okay, so first let's talk about terms. What is meant by a video? Well, a video normally means that you see a person in front of a camera. If you take out the audio portion of a video, you've got a podcast, and there are actual podcast stations. There's one in the Apple iTunes store. So one of the things that you might want to consider, especially if you like the idea of having audio content that you deliver to doctors, you could set up your own iTunes podcast station. And then it's kind of like having a syndicated radio show, only you don't have to monkey around with the radio dials. You know, doctors could potentially download your podcast onto their smartphones, and then they could listen to your podcast while they're driving or exercising. I mean, clearly they're not going to be watching your videos while they're doing that, but doctors tend to like podcasts. And in fact, what you can do is you can go and Google financial podcasts for doctors. You can go and take a look at what some of your competition is doing, and that might give you ideas about what your podcast could be about. But you could potentially have a podcast series about the financial mistakes that doctors make. And the podcast length is highly variable. It can be 3 minutes, it can be 15 or 20 minutes, it can be a half hour. It's anything that you choose. In general, podcasts are generally, about 15 minutes long. The videos that doctors will consume most readily are short, actually. They're sort of 1 to 3 minute videos. We're going to specifically be talking about Facebook Livestream videos. And if you want to take advantage of the Facebook algorithm, they tend to favor videos that are 6 minutes in length or longer. Webinars in general are generally, slides plus a voiceover, like you're watching now. So when we talk about video right now, really what we're talking about is you getting in front of a camera and delivering your content. Okay, so what equipment do you need in order to create videos? Well, there are 4 basic considerations. The first is a camera. The second is lighting. The third is some kind of tripod to stabilize your camera. And the fourth thing is a microphone. And my belief is always that the best equipment to use is the equipment that you already have and you've already got it. The smartphone in your pocket has all of the requirements of creating a very, very nice looking video. It meets the 8 high density requirements. So this is the video camera I would recommend that you get started with. Now, there are some things that are going to impact a viewer's experience with you. The first is lighting. And the best hack to getting good lighting is just to go in front of a window with natural light and then put your camera between the window and you. That is terrific lighting. There are other fancy things that you can do with lighting. You can set up an entire video station with 3-point lights. But in general, simple is okay. You don't necessarily want a Hollywood production. I was the health and wellness expert for a large pharmacy chain. And they hired me to do, health and wellness videos. Well, they had a huge advertising budget. They did a lot of TV ads. And I said, hey, how about if, the next time you've got your TV production company in the store, why don't I come and just shoot some of my health and wellness videos? They said, no, we actually don't like that. We like the fact that it doesn't look like a Hollywood production. It makes you seem more authentic and more accessible. And we like that. So you want to decide for yourself, what kind of tone do you want? You can go out and purchase Hollywood produced videos that you can put on your site, but it's gonna give a very different sense of who you are, and it's gonna serve a different kind of function. But your viewers are going to want to know that you're authentic. They want to know that you're a real person. They want to get to know who you are. So if you want to step it up a little, I will tell you what I use. I have a Canon Vixia HFR 800. I paid less than $300 for that. I also have an Audio-Technica lavalier mic. I have a tripod that levels. For my webinars, I have a blue podcast mic, and all of these things are available on Amazon. You can take advantage of them. And then to edit my videos, I personally use iMovies. Now, this is just what I use. This is sort of a basic starter set, but like I said, just for right now, stick with your iPhone and see what you can do with that. Okay, so what kinds of topics do you want to talk about in your videos? Well, I think that the first thing that makes sense to you is just to pluck out your own pearls of wisdom and make a 1 to 3 minute video. So I tend to write in sound bites. If you open up this book to any given page, you will find something that you might want to talk about. For example, I just opened it up and, it says, doctor, what is your biggest lifetime expense? Is it your house? Is it your medical school education? Is it your kids' college education? No, your biggest lifetime expense are taxes. Now, how well are you doing at managing your taxes? And then maybe offer a call to action. If you would like to a special report that will talk about the kinds of things that can help you lower your taxes, reach out to me at this URL and I'd be happy to send you the special report. So it's just a little pearl of wisdom and then a call to action at the end that will invite doctors to take that next step with you. The second kind of video that works really, really well is the FAQ video. So as you speak with doctors, doctors are going to be asking you questions. They're probably not the questions that they should be asking, but you want to listen carefully to the questions that they actually are asking. And then this 1 to 3 minute video can be, doctor, have you ever wondered, how can I move up retirement by 5 to 10 years? Hi, I'm Juan, and I help doctors optimize their cash flow. I frequently get asked this question, and here's what I tell doctors: don't leave money on the exam table. Collect what you are owed. So you offer your little pearl of wisdom. Now, I love doing radio. I've been on the radio a lot. And I made a promise to myself before I went on the radio that I was never going to offer actual medical advice. It just wasn't responsible. So you never want to offer financial advice. Well, first, it wouldn't get through compliance. But second of all, you really need to know somebody's complete story before you give them advice. However, you can give them questions that they should be asking. You can give them some pointers. You can tell a story. There's all sorts of things that you can do to engage them and then invite them into the next step. So maybe that next step, again, is some kind of checklist, or your offer to sit down and talk about the most pressing question that they might be having. A great call to action at any video is to invite doctors to share this with their friends and their colleagues. So in general, these are best when, as I said, that they're 1 to 3 minutes. And what I would recommend for you is that somewhere you actually keep a file of the actual questions that doctors are asking you. And if you take these things down verbatim, these are great video topics, because if doctors are asking you a question, how do I move up retirement by 5 to 10 years? They're probably Googling that too. And if you've got a video that has that title, well, guess what? There's the chance that they could potentially find you on YouTube. All right, the biggest mistake that people make when they're creating these videos are to pose questions that they think that doctors should be asking. First, doctors are not going to find you, but even if they do find you, chances are pretty good they're not going to listen to your video. You've got to reach doctors where they are at. Okay, and then the third kind of video, this is what I promised you today, is the Facebook live stream video. So we talked about the power of Facebook, the power to target doctors on Facebook. We talked in the last module about how you could get into doctors' news feeds, that Facebook has an algorithm for deciding what content gets displayed to any individual's news feed. And you can get into a doctor's news feed three ways. You can do it by organic traffic. So, if you already know doctors and they're on Facebook, you can invite them to join and like your Facebook business page. So that's number one. Number two, you can place podcasts you can place ads. So maybe you want to create an ad with the offer of downloading a complimentary digital copy of the 9 money mistakes that doctors make. So, you can pay as little as, $5 a day to do that. Facebook will allow you to target who you put that ad in front of. And so for a very low cost, you can potentially build your list. Now there's a science to creating Facebook ads. So if that's a direction that you want to go in, you might want to get somebody who will help you with that, who will help you with the targeting. Okay, the third way to get content in doctors' news feeds is to boost it. So let's say you do a Facebook live stream post, and here's what that means. When you go to your business page, you can create a post, and one of the options is to create this thing that has a camera that says live. That's a live stream. So when you click that button, it will open up your webcam on your computer, or it'll start your video on your smartphone. And you can do it with either. There's a little button and it will say, click here to begin. You push that button, it'll go 3, 2, 1, and then you're live. So then anybody who sees that you're live streaming can hop onto your business page and join your live stream. You can even announce it beforehand if you want an audience before it. Like if you deliver a seminar, maybe you want to deliver that same seminar as a live stream and then let people know so that they are there live. At the end of the live stream, you push end, and it's that simple. Facebook will then ask you if you want to save the video or you want to delete it. And you always have the option of deleting it. So don't feel like, if I do a live stream and I hate it, well, I'm just stuck with it. No. You always have the option of deleting it at any point. You can also upload, videos that you have produced up to your Facebook page. Okay, so once you have done that, once you've created any post, Facebook is going to come to you with the option of boosting this post. In other words, they say, hey, do you want to take your live stream video that you just created with your tips about, ways to move up retirement by 5 to 10 years and putting it in front of more doctors? And then you get to decide what doctors that you want. So this is a very effective way, and a cost-effective way too, of getting your videos in front of more people. But there's more magic that happens. If Facebook sees that doctors are engaging with your videos, in other words, they watch your videos for more than a minimum amount of time, Facebook is going to sort of give you higher rankings in the algorithm, and then organically, you're going to wind up in the news feeds of more doctors. So success breeds success. If you do the right videos about the right topics that doctors really want to hear about, and you make even a nominal investment right up front, and it works, it's going to work faster for you. It's sort of the snowball effect. So one of the people that I follow about internet marketing is a gentleman by the name of Frank Kern. You might want to get on his list. He just does wonderful, wonderful content with lots and lots of free tips. But Frank does a lot of paid advertising. His Facebook advertising budget used to be about $500,000, but he has almost completely replaced that with Facebook live stream videos. So I would encourage you to sort of go to the source. Now, again, if you're going to get optimal leverage with your Facebook live stream, they prefer things that are at least 6 minutes in length. Okay, so as we talked about last time, there are little hacks that you can use to get shares. The first is to tell a story. We are wired to learn by stories. And so, if you're going to take a pearl of wisdom from the 9 Money Mistakes book, maybe you tell a story about a doctor who had that problem or who made that transformation. Maybe it's even part of your own story, but stories will get and engage people. Next, you want to paint a word picture. So the point that you're making, if you close your eyes, can you see that in your mind's eye? If you can use any metaphors that can create visual images, that tends to be much more compelling. We are a visual species. My dog, experiences the world primarily through his nose. We experience the world primarily through our eyes. You want to use medical metaphors. So anytime you can take a financial issue and reframe it as a medical issue, it's going to help doctors engage. So you can talk about your financial diagnostic tools. You can talk about your financial therapeutic toolbox and how it's so important for you to reach for the right tool for the right job. And last, entertain. Everyone likes to laugh. Everybody wants to be entertained. So, don't take yourself so seriously. Be willing to, share funny stuff. Be vulnerable. And again, whenever you offer any Facebook posts, I will remind you of the importance of photos. Photos really do matter. Okay, so let's say that you've decided you know what, I'm so excited, I'm going to jump in. I'm actually going to get off of this tutorial and I'm going to go and do my Facebook live stream. Okay, so your Facebook live stream, if you save it, it's going to be on Facebook. But here's the deal. Anytime you create a video on Facebook, especially on your smartphone, you're going to be given the option of downloading it and saving it on your computer. Once it's saved on your computer, you can put it other places where they will be found. So you can put it on YouTube. I highly recommend that you create a YouTube business channel. You can also put it on your blog. I know that there are some advisors who are successfully engaging doctors on LinkedIn. So you want to find out where your doctor prospects and clients are. If they're on LinkedIn, then you can put it on LinkedIn also. So you can think about these social media platforms, that Facebook, LinkedIn, maybe even Instagram, as sort of auxiliary websites. You can put a whole lot of content on there and treat them like websites that are specific for doctors. All right, what are some campaign killers? First is addressing needs versus wants. You as an expert know the questions that doctors should be asking, but that is the best way to invest in videos that are never seen. It's kind of like Eleanor Rigby videos, sitting somewhere dark where nobody sees them. If you're addressing things that doctors want, if you're answering their most frequently asked questions, you have a much, much better chance of being seen and being shared. And remember, it's hard to get a doctor's attention, right? And if you can get doctors to pass around your videos, that's going to work magic for you. The most influential person in a doctor's life is another doctor. So you want to create videos that are seen and shared. Next campaign killer, being boring. Spice it up. Tell some stories. Shock people. Tell jokes. Talk about the mistakes that you've made. I had an episode like the night before Thanksgiving. I was supposed to bring, freshly baked pies because I love to bake to my friend's house. And Wednesday night, when I went to take out the dinner and turn off the oven, only half of the buttons on the stove and the oven worked. I couldn't turn off my oven. I had to flip the power and I couldn't get it back on. Like, what are you going to do? Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, it doesn't work. Everybody's going to be in the kitchen busy preparing for Thanksgiving. I hated to impose further. I bought a turkey because I wanted to bake our own turkey on Friday night, and I'd already thought it. So what was I going to do? Well, I called my friend, and fortunately, I was able to bring the pies over early in the morning so she could bake it before she got started with her turkey. And I'm in Minneapolis right now, and I read someplace that you could barbecue a turkey. So that's what I did, and I videoed all of these things. And guess what? Those were like really, really popular videos. So I'm not saying that you would include something like that professionally, but don't be afraid to share your own personal blunders. If you've just had a completely ridiculous interaction, don't be afraid to share that. I remember one time I was interrupted by one of those spam callers, and it was clear that this guy was calling from a country outside of the US, and I politely asked him to please remove me from his list. And then a few minutes later, another caller calls, I answer, and it's the same person. And I said, I asked you to take me off of my list. And he said to me, why are you being so rude to me? And I was just tickled by the fact that this person who was rudely interrupting my life and not complying with my wishes would accuse me of being the rude one. So that would be kind of that would be something that you could share on a business platform. Next, failing to be consistent can be a big problem. With your drip content, you want to decide how frequently you're going to deliver content to doctors and then do it. So if you can do once a month, great. If you can do every other week, great. If you are going to commit to a Facebook campaign, you might want to think about, really giving it a good effort, like maybe for 30 days, being there once a day to really get things started. As you're creating videos, one of the things that I would recommend doing is going and taking a look at your competition. What are other people in your industry doing? The biggest tendency is to say, you know what, I really like that, and I'm going to be like that person. But, you are going to create the best videos when you are yourself. I think probably the biggest campaign killer with videos is really the failure to get started. I know that it can seem overwhelming, but I hope that I've showed you in this tutorial that you can break it down. It can be really, really easy. All you need to do is grab your smartphone, go in front of a window that's streaming some natural light, and just open a page of the 9 Money Mistakes book and just talk about a pearl of wisdom and then tell a story that reinforces that. Or, take out your smartphone and answer a doctor's frequently asked question. Or today, just go on Facebook Livestream and maybe you you tell doctors, 3 things that they might want to think about before 2019 comes to an end. 3 tips about tax considerations that they can do and potentially save big on their taxes. So, as I was told by my mentor, give yourself permission to suck. You can always go back and take the videos down or delete it. But really the best way to get better is just to go out and do it. Okay, when it comes to video, I hope that I've convinced you that there are a lot of benefits to having videos to put in your digital sales funnels. And you've got a lot of options. You can go out and buy stock videos. And in fact, every financial advisor who comes to me, I'll go and review their website. And if you go out and take a look at your competition, chances are good that you're going to find 2, 3, 4 advisors who have the exact same stock video on their website. It looks nice. Yes, no question about that. But the problem is that these videos often don't have doctor-friendly language. They're speaking to the thinking brain rather than the feeling brain. And the major liability is that you're not in it. Doctors are not getting a chance to deepen their relationship with you if they're just watching the stock video. There are some custom stock videos that you can buy. So the vendor will allow you to put your name on the beginning and on the end, kind of like bookends. So that's a little better. You can certainly hire a video production crew. If you want to do that, a great way of getting that, for not too much money is just going to a local community college or university or maybe even arts school. There are people who are, interested in learning about video production. Maybe they've even been assigned a project, and you could potentially be their project. So you could do this, for a very reasonable cost. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of control over quality, but that is a way of doing it. But, at least to begin with, to experiment with, I just recommend taking out that smartphone and just giving it a whirl. I'd be happy to critique your initial videos. You just tell me how honest you want me to be with you, and I would be happy to do that. So I would really, really recommend taking action. If you could type into the chat box on a level of 1 to 10, what is your level of interest in working with videos? Is this something that excites you? Is this something that doesn't excite you a lot, but you're here just because you bought the package and you thought may as well be here? If you could just type in a number into the chat box, 1 to 10, SAT, 10, good, SAT, I'm glad, because we're going to be doing them. Who else? 1 to 10, what's your level of interest in doing this? All right. John, thanks, about 5, 1, 10. All right, this is not for everyone, right? And you want to go with what works for you. But we've been through this digital sales funnel right now. So let's just kind of recap where we have been. So the package that you purchased is sort of a complete package to help you go out and build relationships with doctors. So it begins with a yummy treat, the 9 money mistakes that doctors make. This is a proven winner. Doctors really are interested in this. You've got a digital version of the book that sets you up to help doctors enter the digital sales funnel by signing up to get a copy of the digital book. We've had tutorials about the elements of your digital sales funnel. So we've talked about, for example, landing pages. We've talked about how there's a science to making an offer that people respond to, and a landing page is nothing more than a 1-page website that makes that offer. We talked about having a list vendor. So once a doctor puts their name and their email address into the landing page, that list the name and email goes someplace. And so generally this means building a relationship with the list vendor. I recommend MailChimp. It's free, it's relatively user-friendly, and unlike some contact management vendors like Redtail, you can send outgoing messages. Okay, so the next element in your sales funnel is creating drip content, being top of mind by sending your pearls of wisdom out to them on a regular basis. Ideally, you're doing this with an email drip. And in your email, you always want to have a button that says, click here to schedule a call with me. And ideally, that goes to your online calendar so you can do digital scheduling. And then we've talked about some actual campaigns, actual topics that you can launch. So maybe every quarter you're offering a different yummy treat. So does anyone on the line have any questions about any of the content that we've gone through so far? Like, do you have an image in your mind about how you're actually going to execute, how you're going to use these digital sales funnels to get your message in front of more doctors? So I would be happy to answer any questions. Okay, so while I am waiting for that, what I will say is that you have everything that you need in order to launch your digital sales funnels successfully. So you're going to have access to the tutorials for life. You are welcome to go back and review these tutorials if you have any questions. And I've intentionally done it so that you can execute with what you have. But what I also know in my decade of experience is that there are some people who want to take the next step. Hank Greenberg said so famously, all I want in life is an unfair advantage. And so I do want to let you know that there are all sorts of resources on the Targeting Doctors website. Please feel welcome to go there, get on the list to make sure that you get my weekly marketing tips. But if you have not visited the site, I recommend getting started on the tab that says Getting Started, and that will sort of give you an overview. But there are, all sorts of things that you will find there. And, I've built my business with a single idea. I listen to what people want and need, and then I respond by creating the things that they want. So there's going to be an awful lot of offerings. And, because you're here, you're interested in building these digital sales funnels, you're interested in digital content, I do want to draw your attention to an offering that's not for everybody, but it may be for you. And it may be that the elements in here are for you. So it's what I call the expert positioning package. And here's the idea. I'm always asking myself, what are successful people doing? Because if you study success and you have a large list like I do, you can identify certain things. So the really successful people who are acquiring doctor clients in 2019 have been doing three things. They're really good at expert positioning, they're really good at digital sales funnel, and they're really good at getting doctors to open the red velvet rope. So there is an intersection of these three things. So I asked myself, how could I help people get to that sweet spot most quickly? And that's how I created this expert positioning package. So in this package, you will get not just the digital 9 money mistakes book that you already have access to, but a copy of The Myth of the Rich Doctor. But it's not just any book. This is a custom version in which you write a foreword and an afterword. So your name goes on the front cover, your picture and bio. goes right below mine on the back cover. In the foreword, I help you write your story about how and why you're in the business that you are and how and why you've come to work with doctors. That, telling that story is really a great way of engaging them. And then at the end, there is a call to action. So you get this as a physical book, you get 50 physical books. In addition, you get 2 digital versions of the book. One digital version is just through the first chapter. And then after that, there's a comment, doctor, if you like this, there's more, go here to get a complete copy. Okay, why do I do that? Well, there are some people who are actually going to medical associations and inviting the medical associations to send the book out to their entire list. Well, you want a way of capturing somebody's email address. And so, if you let the association send out just the first chapter of the book with this call to action, doctors will then go to your landing page, and then you will capture their name and email address. In addition, you do get a designed landing page, and I will help you set up your list. So, you will see how this whole process works. And by the way, you're also welcome to upgrade to put your name on the cover of the 9 money mistake books also. Okay, you get 6 months of coaching, so you know exactly, when to reach out to people, what to say, how to avoid some of the common mistakes. And I'll tell you, I think part of my biggest value is taking a look at people's emails before they send them out. Because if you're not saying the right thing, you could potentially lose a sale very early on in your interaction with doctors. So the coaching is tactical in the trenches. Here's what you say, here's what you do. If you've got a big meeting coming up, or you're about to deliver a seminar and you sort of feel like you want some pointers about how to get the best return for that investment, we can set up a meeting and we can talk about that. In addition, we'll set up a strategic map for you. We'll target in on, who is your best client, and we'll create a map. What's the best way of getting there? What kind of videos should you be creating? Where can you go to gather intelligence and learn how the key physician opinion leaders are? Where are some of the physical places that you want to be at? Do you want to be at a meeting? Should you be on Facebook? Should you be on LinkedIn? So we've got that mapped out. Then you will get these books. And in addition, there are some advisors who say things like, I don't want to just imagine what these scripts will be. Do you have scripts for me? And so this package actually does include the scripts. In addition, I create with people an on-demand webinar. So it's just the 2 of us. You can either interview me or I can interview you, and then you've got something in the can. So, you can create a digital sales funnel with the offer of this on-demand webinar. And then you can send that out. In addition, people in this program are welcome to send out physical letters under my name. Now, why is this so important? It's because if the gatekeeper sees a communication from you, chances are a doctor's never going to see it. However, there are few gatekeepers who are going to screen out a communication from another physician. In addition, imagine if I actually wrote a letter of introduction peer-to-peer to a doctor telling them why they might be interested in paying attention. You also have access to my B2D Blueprint, which is the step-by-step blueprint, but exactly how to go about building a physician-friendly practice. And then you've sort of got me as the doctor who's opening the red velvet rope for you. If you add up all of the things that are included, including probably the best, Since I want to give people the competitive advantage in any specific market, I will only work with one person in a geographic area. You know, I don't want two people in Fort Worth calling the executive director of a medical association and saying, hi, I work with Dr. Vicki Rackner and we are offering. You know, I want to give just one person that right. So I want to apologize in advance. Even if something like this looks of interest to you, please check first to make sure that your territory is available before we go any further. So this package is for you if you're a veteran in the medical market, if you want to jump in and avoid the steep learning curve, if you want to build these digital sales funnels and get some help with it, you want the most direct path to success, and you want to position yourself as the go-to expert, that's great. This is not a good package if you're uncertain about whether you want to be in the medical market, or you're sort of looking for a do nothing campaign. You know, please just send leads to my inbox, or please just send doctors to my my office. That's not a good fit. And this is not a good fit if you're a hobbyist. If you know, you think maybe now and then you'd like to see a doctor. I mean, this expert positioning package is people who understand that successful marketing, quite honestly, is hard work. And that they see this goal, they're really committed to working with doctors, and they're willing to make the investment to actually get there. Okay, so what is the investment for this program? Well, I always wonder how to price things. And I start with value-based pricing, which is something that I hope you do also. So for you, what is the value of a single new physician client? What is the lifetime value for you? And hopefully, if you're an astute business person, you know that. You know what the cost of client acquisition is for you also. If you don't know yet, I would invite you to, as a 2020 goal, figure out what that is for you, because that way, when a shiny object crosses your desk, you'll be in a better position to objectively assess whether or not this is good for you. Okay, what is the value of being perceived as a physician's partner? And I will tell you that there are some platforms that are going to be closed to you that are open to me. So I have been able to get in front of groups of doctors and speak with groups of doctors that you simply could not. And more platforms are being closed to you. So, you know, if you have a choice between getting on stage in front of a group of 300 doctors or not, I mean, what would that mean to you and your business? What's the value of actually getting the attention of an executive director and potentially setting things up so that the executive director would send out digital copies of your book to their list, or invite their doctors to a webinar that we could do together? I mean, if you went and offered to do a webinar, they probably would say no. If you go to any medical association and take a look at the webinars that they're offering, chances are good that virtually all webinars are delivered by a physician. Okay, so what would be the value of actually being able to go in jointly and deliver a webinar to the whole association? What's the value of creating marketing material that doctors already want? You made a great investment in the 9 Money Mistakes book, because we know that it has been proven. Doctors really want it. And it always makes me very, very sad when, you know, advisors invest in these fancy 4-color brochures that go no place because it's a piece of advertising and it's not of interest to doctors. You know, what's the value of gaining access to these kinds of platforms? What's the value of getting your phone calls returned, or not stumbling at the starting gate or the finishing line because you're not aligned with the customs in the world of medicine? And, you know, if you add up these numbers here, I mean, this is hundreds of thousands of dollars in value. And I personally believe that everyone should get a 10-to-1 return on their investment. Like if you invest in a program, you should see a 10-fold return. So let's compare it to other kinds of investments that you could make. You can go out and write a book. And, a ghostwriter might charge, $10,000 or $20,000. You can put your name on my books, and that's a $5,000 investment for each book, where you write the foreword and afterword and get the 50 physical copies and the 2 digital copies. So you can definitely do that. If you go out and try to produce videos, you could be talking, $30,000 to $50,000. I have a couple of clients who I will, write video scripts for, and then we'll get together once a year and I'll produce 12 videos so that they have a year of drip content. And you see what I charge for that. Normally, if I do a webinar with a financial advisor, my fee is $1,500 for that. So if you add up what's included in here, we're talking about, $20,000 or so in value. But I really want to help the advisors who really are strongly motivated to move forward. So this is, my holiday offer to you, $79.97. Yes, you can break it out into 3 payments. This is not for everyone. Let me just say that. So I don't mean to intimidate you or scare you. I'm here for you. I'm here to offer support. If you're interested in sort of first class accelerated results, now that's what this is about. So I need to make sure that I'm working with the right people. So if you are at all interested, the very first thing to do is just drop me an email to see if your area is even available. Then we can set up an appointment to, talk about whether this is a smart investment for you. I do not take everybody. I just take the people I think are going to be successful with this program. And I've sort of already figured out criteria to decide who will or who will not be successful. So that's if you want any help. You're part of my family, my Targeting Doctors family now. You've made this investment, and so I am here for you. If you have any questions about anything that you've learned, if you have any questions about next steps, please always feel welcome to reach out. As you invested in the Black Friday special, you may have invested in a half-hour coaching session with me. If that is the case, please feel welcome to go ahead and get onto my online calendar, which you can find on the bottom of any Targeting Doctors page. Click the button that says schedule a call and schedule a half hour with me. Now you'll see slots where I'm available. They're 15-minute slots, so just book yourself into 2 15-minute slots. I will say, now I know that some people have had issues with getting the emails from me. So I will send out a summary email that describes where everything is, but all of these tutorials are on one page, and you should have gotten an announcement with that one page. So before I go, I am just wondering if you have any questions or thoughts or comments. And specifically, here's a question for you. 2020 is right around the corner. How are you going to use this digital sales funnel to reach out? Like, what's your plan with it? And if you'd like just to type into the chat box, I would love to know. And I hope I'm going to hear things like, I'm going to tell my family, friends, and fans at the holiday get-togethers that I'm doing this and I'm offering this, or maybe today I'm going to get off of this tutorial and I'm going to go and try a Facebook live stream. So what's your plan? What are you going to do? Okay. Well, I hope that you will consider it. It looks like this is another quiet group. I want to thank you for your investment. I just once again want to remind you that there are doctors out there suffering in silence. They don't quite know what their next step is. All they know is that they are in pain. You could potentially transform their lives. And so I am so grateful that you are making this investment to figure out how to serve the doctors who serve the community because they need you. It's an honor and a privilege to support your success in any way that I can. Thank you for being part of the Targeting Doctors family. Just want to wish you a wonderful, sparkling holiday season and a great new year. All right. Take good care. Bye-bye for now.